How's it going, YouTube? DM Tombstone Belts back here again with a brand new video. And today, as I mentioned in my live stream, I was going to do a WrestleMania aftermath video. Well, technically it's a stand and deliver and WrestleMania 41 night one aftermath video. And well, just recently did the live stream today, and that just got done watching WrestleMania, and sorry guys, it's quite a night, and got the stuff here just to look through. And oh, and a word of caution: if you haven't seen Stand and Deliver yet or seen WrestleMania, I recommend pausing this video, not yet clicking off. Go watch Stand and Deliver and night one of WrestleMania, and then come back so I give you my thoughts on what happened. So remember, this is a spoiler, so I recommend not watching this if you haven't seen them yet. But if you have, this is what we're going to talk about. With NXT, starting first with NXT Stand and Deliver, obviously it had a pre-show match. It was a series of tag teams where the winner would be facing either Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, or Bailey and Myra Valkyria. Anyway, we'll be facing for the women's tag team championships on NXT. But I don't know the names of those that won. It was the team that had Shotzi as the manager, as far as I know that happened. Because I didn't suspect to see a matchup that would happen before the pre-show, no, especially for NXT. Because WrestleMania didn't do that for the pre-show. Anyway, I don't know if these are in line or in order, but I'm going to just saying what I wrote down. Obviously, there was the women's NXT North American Championship ladder match, which was, the first matchup was for the men's NXT North American Championship. Ricky Saints versus the all-ego Ethan Page. And it was constantly back and forth, and I thought that Ethan Page was going to win, but obviously Ricky Saints pulled it off and got away with the win. So, still the NXT North American Champion, Ricky Saints. Then next is, we have the Hank and Tank tag team matchup for Hank and Tank versus, what is it, Fraxium, Team Fraxium for the NXT tag team titles. And it was just expired. I would say it's a really a great match. I mean, they like Hank flying out to try to get Frazier or Axiom out of ringside and landing on the reinforced announce table, knocking himself out. I mean, yeah, it was back and forth. You always suspected to see Fraxium retain, and then out of nowhere, Hank and Tank come out with the win. So, guys, we got a brand new NXT Tag Team Champions being Hank and Tank. And, of course, there was a funnier segment that happened in the back. Since they were in Vegas, we've seen an appearance with Penn and Teller. If you guys don't know who they are, obviously they're like comedian magicians that have been doing magic in that place for almost over 40 years. And they still do it to this day. And they're ready. And had a segment with Lexis King, the current NXT Heritage Cup champion, where they took his Heritage Cup, put it into a cage, and then make it disappear. And first started with Penn. He put the Heritage Cup in a cage, put a curtain down on it, and then when it revealed, it was Teller on the other side. So they made Lexis King's Heritage Cup disappear. So we had to go looking for it. Next up was the Don Callis family taking on that wannabe Shield team. I think it was, what are they called? Death Side or something like that, or Dark Side or something. obviously their names are not that important to me, because to me they look like a knockoff Shield. With the mix of that resolution, or it's like a mixture of that one group that had Mustafa Ali leading them, and the Shield. And it was a great matchup. Stacks started to get, because it was all supposed to be Don Callis' plan, but then Stacks starting to get involved, and Don didn't want to do anything with it. But once they started getting the crowbars in and try to even up the score, one time Stacks holds the crowbar, Don turns his back, and everyone started to see it to think that Stacks was going to hit him with the crowbar, but instead he drops the crowbar. But then, obviously, for the greatest bit of betrayal, you hit the guy low. So Stacks hits Don low, betraying the family and leading their team to lose. So the winner was those Deaf Side, or whatever the team was called. As you guys don't know, I'm not really fond of them, but then again, hard to remember the names. But Stacks obviously runs off into the car, and obviously we're going to explain more why he betrayed the family next week on NXT. Next, we have the Fatal 4-Way match. Stephanie Vacure with Julia, and there was the other, forgot, the ladies ladder match for the NXT Women's North American Championship. With Sol Ruka, I think, had Julia in it, I think. I'm trying to remember them. But anyway, there was many others that had matchup, including the former NXT Women's North American Champion there. But in the end, Sol Ruka goes up and grabs the title. So therefore, the new NXT Women's North American Champion was Sol Ruka. And with the Fatal 4-Way matchup for the Women's NXT Championship, Stephanie Vacure would go up against the woman she took the title from, along with two other people. That one chick that looked like a dude that was part of TNA, forgot her name. And another woman, I watched the Stand and Deliver guys, but I didn't pay attention to watching or knowing their names, because it's hard for me to keep track of NXT since I've barely been watching it. But it was a great match, going back and forth, and in the end, Stephanie Vacure snuck out a pinfall win and retaining her NXT Women's Championship. And finally, the main event, the triple threat match, Oba Femi versus Trick Williams versus LeVar Evans. And it could have gone either way. Both of them nearly trying to get Oba down. Oba throwing, I think Trick Williams threw a barricade or something like that. But, man. In the end, Trick hitting Evans with a running knee to the face, knocking him out. Oba picking up Trick, powerbombing him on top of Evans, and then going for a sit-out powerbomb on Evans and pinning him 1, 2, 3, and winning the match, retaining his NXT Championship. Oba Femi winning the match, and that was Stand and Deliver. It was a great NXT show, Stand and Deliver, and obviously it only is second to the real show that happens tonight, which is night 1 of WrestleMania 41. Starting off with singing, oddly they don't sing America the Beautiful or the national anthem. They sing God Bless America, and the one that sang it was Jelly Roll. And of course they did a narration of WrestleMania, which was done by Dana White, who was actually there at the time. But before the show even began, they announced on June 7th, WWE is going to partner up with AAA, which is a luchador wrestling company down in Mexico. And they're finally going to come together in Los Angeles on June 7th for Worlds Collide, a special luchador event. It's the first time they've done it in over 30 years. I mean, I know what you're saying. I mean, because there was a Worlds Collide would involve with AEW, but that was with Japan. This one's with luchador as well. I guess AAA and TNA are done being parts with AEW. The only ones that do with AEW now are Ring of Honor, and I do believe IWGP still does stuff with them, but I can't say that for sure. But anyway, the first matchup for WrestleMania 41 was probably the best one by far. Main event, Jey Uso versus the Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, well, seeing that matchup, it was quite a great match. I mean, going back and forth, everyone's just wanting Jey Uso to win. And Gunther thinking he was unstoppable, taking everything, and yet Jey Uso taking everything back, and yet constantly kicking out, and yet surviving, even getting choked out. To the point where Jey Uso started to use Gunther's own moves against him, hitting him with the power bomb. And then, after hitting him with the spear a couple times, and then the Uso splash, I think, like twice or three times, Gunther was still getting up after the Uso splash, like 3 Uso splashes. Jey pulls a move out of Gunther's own playbook and hits him with the rear naked chokehold. Obviously, that submission move that Gunther does to most of his opponents. To which the point Gunther taps out. So, in which ends the match, and now Jey Uso being the third person to defeat Gunther. Obviously, not true, because we've seen Gunther has been defeated before. He had to lose his United Kingdom Championship to Tyler Bate. That's one. He lost his Intercontinental Championship to Sami Zayn. 2. They did say he lost to Braun Breaker. 3. And of course now, with main event Jey Uso. Actually, no, I forgot. As well, Fate, when he was World Heavyweight Champion, facing Cody Rhodes to be the Crown Jewel Champion. 4. And now with Jey Uso, 5. So therefore, Jey Uso is now the new World Heavyweight Champion. And I predicted that, and I'd say, now I was surprised that I even got that one, and I think he deserved to be world champion. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think if he deserved to be world champion? Next up, New Day versus the War Raiders for the Raw World Tag Team Championships. I mean, obviously everyone was hating New Day, and it'd be kind of shocker to think. I was expecting to have Big E do something involved to cost them the titles, but it was mostly just between War Raiders and New Day, and they were putting it all out on the War Raiders, especially targeting Eric or Ivar, one of them. He was targeting the guy's injured neck, and they were giving it their all, especially when I think it was Ivar. Yeah, it was Ivar. That did like a running senton or something to both of them up against that ring post. Or no, the apron, the ring apron, the LED apron. Nearly almost crushing them. But then Kofi, I think Xavier Woods goes for a pin on Ivar. And Kofi outside the ring holds his foot to prevent him from kicking out. In which they do 1, 2, 3. Pinfall win. Therefore, the new World Tag Team Champions, the New Day. I think it's now their 12th Tag Team Championship win. I think that's a record right now. Of course, they're showing appearances of celebrities like Jelly Roll, which I did mention. That I think it was the Kibble, who was from the San Francisco 49ers team. It was there. And of course, the guy I know for his show that was on A&E before, Mind Freak, Chris Angel was there with his kids. I mean, it's Las Vegas. Of course, you're going to have someone like that because he's well known there as well. Next, we had Jade Cargill versus Naomi. And that, too, was quite of a banger of a match. I mean, first coming out with seeing when Naomi comes out with the caution tape thing, and then when Jade Cargill came out, it came out with an entrance with the guy from the Weather Channel talking about a storm coming. I mean, pretty good entrance, especially a good cameo for the guy. And to say it was a straight up match back and forth. You don't know who was going to win until Cargill comes in and gets her revenge pinfall, to which the winner being Jade Cargill. Yeah. Okay. Next matchup we got LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. And surprisingly, it was a great, to see LA Knight come out in I think it was a Lamborghini or one of those type of fancy cars. Yeah, cool. And kind of a odd thing to happen for him to defend the title against Jacob Fatu. Most people think because Jacob Fatu is still new, he's not going to win the title. And quite a shocker that he actually ends up defeating LA Knight and wins his first singles title. Yes, right, guys. Jacob Fatu is our new United States champion. And did he do it for the bloodline? I'm not quite sure, because I feel like we're going to see more build-up for him being the United States champion on SmackDown. So, outcome of the U.S. title match, new United States champion, Jacob Fatu. Alright, we got a couple more. The next matchup being El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio. Wait a minute. Actually, I think we had to change that one up because apparently Rey Mysterio had an injury. And speaking of which of injuries, we also seen during the beginning that Bayley was attacked by somebody. Don't know who. But she's had an injury, and now they're saying they have to be a change in that tag match tomorrow, where Myra Valkyria has to find a new tag partner within 24 hours. But, so Rey Mysterio had to step out, but someone took in his place, being another, so literally it's still another Rey, but it's Rey Fenix. And, it was a great up luchador thing, especially when the El Grande Americano was picking on one of the wrestlers from AAA. A great AAA world champion was there. Forgot his name, but I've seen him a couple times on AEW. But he was there, and he gets shoved by El Grande Americano. Well, most people believe it's Chad Gable, and I do believe that's Chad Gable. But then he gets hit in the head with a kick, and then the match starts. And it's going almost Rey Fenix's way. You think Rey Fenix is going to win. Then out of nowhere, El Grande Americano takes a slab of metal, sticks it in his mask. And then just when Rey Fenix was kicking him in the head, he kicked a part of the metal and probably injured his leg. Obviously, I think they'd be doing more damage to the guy who you kicked in the head as well, because if you had something in front of you and you get smacked with it, you're still feeling that kick. Maybe it's not as much as a form of protection because it's like a helmet, but then he's still trying to fight him off. And then when he goes for a springboard move, Grande Americano headbutts him, knowing he still has the piece of metal in his mask, and then goes for a flying headbutt and pins him 1, 2, 3. So El Grande Americano, aka Chad Gable, winning the match by cheating, basically. And of course, we're talking about those Hall of Fame induction ceremony last night, as well as showing off about the ones who were inducted. Surprisingly, when they showed the people on stage showing the WWE Hall of Fame class, there's one particular person missing. Obviously, they were showing the Immortal Moment, the first ever Immortal Moment, where it was with Stone Cold, Steve Austin, and Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13 in the submission match. And that makes Bret Hart the first WWE Hall of Famer to win, to be inducted, or WWE icon to actually be inducted to the Hall of Fame 3 times. Yeah, Ric Flair, sorry, you might have been the first to win 2, but Bret Hart's the first one with 3. Surprising for that. So way to go, Bret Hart, to be entered in as yourself, the Hart Dynasty, and now for your first ever immortal moment, which is actually a fun fact. They're now selling those trophies on WWE Shop for, I think it's like for $1,300 or $1,400 or something like that. Yeah, you gotta pay some big bucks for a replica trophy that's mostly gonna be put into the WWE headquarters thing. And of course, Michelle McCool, and there was also the natural disasters, Typhoon, and of course the family of John Fanta or something like that. Fanta. If I mispronounced his name, I apologize, or something like that. But literally, Earthquake's family was there to represent for him. I know there's somebody else. They're not. Oh yeah, and there's Triple H that showed up there as well. But there was one person that wasn't there. That was inducted last night, but he didn't show up there. And that was Lex Luger, which I don't understand why they didn't even say his name, even though he wasn't really there. I mean, you say he was inducted last night. And 2, they showed off the brand new rings they have for the Hall of Fame as well. It's not like the ones they had before where it's like a black little gem with the network WWE logo, like the ones you seen when Goldberg flashed the camera with it. Now it's an all gold, like a big all gold ring with the black WWE logo on it. Guess the Hall of Fame rings change over time. But yeah, no Luger to show up there for the Hall of Fame, where they announced the Hall of Fame class of 2025. Unless they do it again tomorrow on night 2. Who knows? Next, the WWE Women's Championship match. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. And their entrances were pretty good. And it was an all-out banger of a match. I mean, I would have expected the Charlotte to win, but I guess Tiffany was on her A game there, targeting Charlotte's knee that's been obviously repaired from surgery. Is now wearing a brace, kind of like Stone Cold. And whenever, and even getting hit with a natural selection from Charlotte when Charlotte was jumping off the top rope, giving her a natural selection. She survived it. And then ends up doing her Tiffy moonsault and pinning her 1, 2, 3, retaining the WWE Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair. So she still retains the title, and it's still Tiffy time, guys. Next, our main event. Wow. I gotta say, I'm shocked from this one because I did mention this in the live stream. And I tell you what, guys. Before I go with that, I'm going to tell you about it. Anyway, we have the triple threat match. Seth freaking Rollins versus the OTC Roman Reigns versus CM Punk with Paul Heyman on his corner. When Punk came out with Living Color, it's called the personality. With Living Color, they're playing the song when he comes out. And literally soon when Punk came out with Paul Heyman, it reminded me like of WrestleMania 29 when he was facing The Undertaker. How Paul Heyman come out with the watch and that. I mean, it was a memorable moment. But then when the match started, I mean, constant back and forth. You expect, a spear, stomp, go to sleep. Literally, every one of them knocking each other out. And then would run out of nowhere when Rollins wanted to work with Reigns to try to take Punk out by slamming him through the reinforced announce tables. Roman picks up Punk, power bombs him through this reinforced announce table. It actually collapsed. Mostly you would suspect now with these new reinforced announce tables they'd be impossible to break, but proven tonight, Roman, Punk, and Rollins proven that even reinforced tables can break. Then he grabs Rollins and slams him through the Spanish announce table. They fall apart as well, and yet proven how tough these guys go through, because even after that they still keep fighting. Then like Roman's going for the guillotine submission and trying to make him choke him out. Punk comes out of nowhere, stomps on Roman, then go to sleep on Seth and tries to go for a cover, and yet they still kick out. Then one gets hit with a Superman punch, or gets hit with a spear. Then one gets hit with one. Roman tries to spear Rollins. He grabs him and puts him into the pedigree. Literally, it's constant back and forth. And all of a sudden, near the end, here comes Paul Heyman with the chair. And you're wondering which person he's going to give the chair to, Punk or Roman. Now here's the part I want us to pause for before I tell you what happened. I did mention this in the live stream that I thought I would say, I feel like at the end of the night, Heyman's going to portray Roman and Punk. He's not going to deal with any one of them. He's going to do something with Seth. And I thought it's a shocker, because most people would suspect it. I always thought, I did say about how Rollins would win. The possibility was going to be either Punk or Rollins. And anyway, back to this. Paul slides the chair to Punk. Roman looking at Paul Heyman, thinking, what are you doing? You're my wise man. And he stands beside Punk as he holds that chair, ready to use it on Roman. Heyman goes down. Boom. Low blows CM Punk. Everyone's in shock. Like, what did he just do? He betrays CM Punk, his only best friend. And wow. Then comes Roman with the chair. And he comes slamming it on Punk's back and all that. Next thing you know, Heyman tells him, Rollins is getting up. Time for you to get your revenge on Rollins. And as soon as he turns to go to use the chair on Rollins, shocker moment, he hits Roman below the belt too, giving him a low blow. And it leads to Rollins taking the advantage of it, hitting Roman with the chair again, then going for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins winning with the help of Paul Heyman. I was shocked to think, wow, I totally called that. I know some of you probably called that too. But anyway, yeah. Rollins winning the matchup with the help of Paul Heyman. They walking away, and that was the end of night 1 of WrestleMania. And I gotta say, it's quite an extraordinary night, especially with the stage. The stage looks absolutely remarkable, how they do these themes. And to think, I'm pretty sure that, and as well, like we've seen, over 61,000 people were there. It's not as big as most other WrestleManias, but then again, it's all about the venues. At least they didn't go for the spear, because I would have thought the spear would have looked good. They even showed the spear a couple times there, mostly, advertising stuff, and they even had the Goodyear blimp there to give aerial views, and it was quite a great, extraordinary day there, especially when you see Io Sky, current women's world champion, actually on the Goodyear blimp, going for a ride in it. Yeah. But anyway, I'd say it's quite an extraordinary night 1, but yet it's just night 1. And of course, tomorrow is night 2, where I'm going to also do a live stream before night 2 happens, guys. So stay tuned for that. And then when night 2 ends, I'm going to give my feedback to that. But I'm also going to announce the winner of the Road to WrestleMania Choose a Belt contest. And remember, guys, you only got till that by the end of the night. By the end of night 2. for the Road to WrestleMania Choose a Belt contest to vote